Jimmy here in Arizona. Going to do a COVID-19 AAR. Trying to say these first parts real quick, get in on the back end. So what we thought was going to happen. So what people had said, 2.1 million people were going to die in 4 weeks. The U.S. was going to lose all of its supplies and the ability to sustain itself. Hospitals would be filled to the rafters with patients and all would be lost. That is what people thought were going to happen in the initial chit-chat, all right? What actually happened, as of today, there's 28,274 dead from COVID-19. That's the numbers that they have. Some of that could be debatable. People fought over toilet paper. That happened. Not thinking about other things. Congress and local government had the ability to flex and wasn't a whole lot of fight back. So that's what we thought was going to happen and what actually happened. Then sustains and improves. So I would highly encourage that you do your own personal sustains and improves. I'm going to go over a broad of what I've heard on many aspects, but in your own household, please do your own, write a list, sustains and improves. This is what I did right, all right, and this is what I can improve on. I guarantee mostly everybody, to include myself, there was a lot more improves than sustains. So a little bit about myself, as well as what I've seen from other people, other families, and what has kind of happened since this all. So sustain, I thought of this was a huge sustain. This was a low impact dry run. That is how I'm viewing this. This is a low impact dry run. Power stayed on, water was still going, internet, Netflix were good. Low impact dry run for potentially actual bad things can happen. If you study emergency management or disasters or bad things, or you watch Red Dawn or whatever you want to call it, this was a very low impact dry run with not really that bad of weather, and the power stayed on. So if you had heating, so many things to go down the rabbit hole on this one. A sustain for me personally is my birth mother came into town and she had the ability to watch my kids. That family structure, call your mama, tell you love her. Sisters, what have you. My sisters were up in Northern California, and they all three of the blondes in Georgetown and Savannah and Auburn, I think they all did very well. That due to our upbringing and or things that have happened in the last year with loss of power and what have you, other dry runs that they've had, and I think that the girls did really well up there, to include Jamie and Melissa. One thing, a sustain to know is what was the couples dynamics in the house of being quarantined in the house. Was it more of a honeymoon, got to spend time together, read, talk, look at sunsets, and just kind of reflect on your wonderful, beautiful relationship? Or were you in a very high percentage where domestic violence ensued all over the country, which I had never condoned, but it does happen. Me personally, I was in lockdown in a house for bad weather last winter with my former spouse, and I realized back a year ago that I needed to get this person out of my house, and I did. So glad I was not on lockdown with said person. Kids. My kids are wonderful. I've had 2 summers with them by myself, and I thought they did very wonderful. My kids did. Some improves. The schooling and the laptops, we got pretty good schools here, and we're moving forward on that one. I need an improve for me. I need to get better with them on that one, and I know this week's going to be a really good week because it's in the top of my list of things to tackle. Those are some sustains. I have some others, but just kind of think of it in your own house of the sustains, things that went well, and then improves. Major improves down the list as a whole for COVID-19. 1, people's jobs. All right, hey, people need to realize that sometimes there's jobs, hobbies, and then there's careers and or solid structures of employment. All right. And that needs to be totally understood of how that absolutely reflects inside your household. Okay, does one person in your house have a solid job that has health insurance and unemployment, and you're covered and they got you? My last job is U.S. military. I felt very insulated. My family, I felt everything was going to be okay whether I was working or not. I got a paycheck. I had health insurance. There was a lot of things going on. My current job in security that I do now, similar. I kept working. I was still needed. I feel that I've tried to, in the last few years, insulate myself and my family for a worst case scenario. Sometimes that kind of holds you back, but it's up to you. And I would suggest that people start looking at the kind of jobs and or careers that they have, whether they're essential or non-essential. But you never really know of how things could go bad. We can have the lights out, we can have a 1 second after like that. And how would you do on that one? So right now, use this as a dry run. Other improves. I know I was getting phone calls and whatnot about people running out of food or where to buy food. People were asking where to buy toilet paper. I was like, I got a freezer and cans, and I went and bought a bunch of food, just, have extra. But just while the opportunity was available, but I would have done better than most, I feel, if this thing really kicked off and we went on a lockdown. Firearms, got buddies that work in the gun industry and gun shops, and watching liberals buy handguns is actually a pretty funny sight. I got to see one. It was pretty funny. Where you live and where you vote. If you live in California in a 14-day and you think you can get ammo, I found out about ammo laws in California. Absolutely ridiculous. Some people really had to bite the bullet and get some things. But things I did not buy. I did not buy toilet paper. I did not buy ammo. I did not buy guns. I did not buy anything in regards to that field that people were scrambling and paying 25 to 50% markup prices for the current stuff. I already had it. So incorporated in my daily life. But once again, that's just me and how I like to live. With that, you can think on how you vote. Okay. It's very clearly, if there was a broad spectrum, I saw a couple overlays of certain things. Blue states did not fare as well as red. Not stating any of my political opinion or timelines or how the president reacted to things. I'm just saying that certain states definitely fared better to others, not only to population density, but also in regards to local government's policies that they implement. People getting arrested, putting in handcuffs for walking down the street, people getting tickets. And it's just one of those things that you just kind of got to think about, of where you live, right? Where I live and how I live my life really came out on the backside of this relatively not stressed out, not freaked out. My wonderful, beautiful children were looked after by myself and lovely family that we have here in Prescott, Arizona. I really hope that everybody takes a real hard look at this was a low impact dry run. But that's me out here in Arizona. My kind of low AAR. I could have gone an hour discussing many of the things that have happened, but I thought I'd keep it at about 9 minutes. Please post your comments below and let me know. Ask any questions that you would like. I would like to answer. Please keep your thoughts of friends and family in mind, and keep a round in the chamber and ready to lead the way.